Aura is the electromagnetic field that emanates from us, and it emanates through our physical bodies. Now, some people think it emanates from the physical body and that it's just basically heat from the body. And there could be some of that, but really what it is who you are as an incarnate soul. You can think of your soul as emanating energy through your physical body, and that's why when you do things like astral project, if you a clairvoyant person can still see you, as an aura, and so can once somebody's dead, you can still see them as their aura. So it's not necessarily just from the physical body, but it does emanate through the physical body. And it's about, depending on the strength of the aura, it can be, like 6 feet away from your, 6 feet away from your body. It can be a really big aura. And there's a lot that we can go into in regards to the aura, as far as like being able to read somebody's aura and stuff like that. But that's not really what I want to talk to you about today. I'm more interested in how the aura is important in regards to magic. Now, the most important thing I think that people don't get, that is so helpful if you really understand this, is that the aura can do two things. It can project and it can attract. And what you're projecting and what you're attracting are influenced only by one thing, and that is by your mind. Now, what you're projecting and attracting in your aura based on the feelings within your physical body. You can use your physical body as sort of like an instrument of understanding what's going on with your aura. Now, if you have a lot of tension in your body, that is a representation of defenses in your aura. And when you have a lot of defenses in your aura, magic can't happen very well. It's almost like when you have defenses up, you're trying to keep things out, but you're also then trying to keep things in. So you can't project and you can't attract very well when your defenses are up. And what you do and what you do project and what you do attract are usually things you don't want, because rarely do people do spells to get more problems. I think I'm going to do a spell, for some disease and some poverty. No, usually that's not what we do. Usually what we want when we do spell work is we're trying to obtain a goal and or solve a problem. And so it's important to understand that the mental defenses, or sometimes we call it the mental shield, must be lowered. It must be lowered. And that can only happen one way, and that's through relaxation. You have to be able to relax the body. And when your body's relaxed, it means your mind is relaxed, and it means that your aura is open and your defenses are down. And that's why a lot of people like to work magic in a magic circle, or like what we teach in, we teach how to cast a magic circle in a witch's primer. And we also teach that technique called grounding and centering. And we teach a technique called the orb of light. And all of those are methods by which you can do both things at once. That is, relax the body, lower your defenses, and feel protected and safe. So that when you're working your magic, you can do so feeling very, very very assured that when you are working with your defenses down, that you are safe. Now, there's a lot to be said about lowering your defenses. The idea that you can defend yourself from something in your aura is actually erroneous. What we discover is that the more our defenses are down, the safer we are. It's the defenses themselves that tend to cause the problems, because we think that we can protect ourselves from something out there, when we realize that the defenses actually create the problems. And so when we learn how to keep our defenses down, we're not less safe. We are actually more safe. We are less vulnerable. But that's actually a different lecture. I'm going to talk more about how this applies to magic. Okay, so the first thing you have to do when you are casting any kind of spell, I don't care what it is, you can be doing puppet magic, you can be doing magical dance, you can be doing anything, is you have to establish some sort of a trance. You have to develop some sort of a trance. You have to lower that shield. You have to lower those defenses and open up that aura so that there's that free flow of electromagnetic energy. And we have something called the witch's trance, and I believe it's in the advanced class, but you can still listen to it. It's on my YouTube channel, and it's also on my meditations list, where you can learn how to really deepen that trance so that you can have more effective magic. Now, what happens when those defenses are down is that your power to create is accelerated by so many points. So the more relaxation you have, the deeper that you can be relaxed, the more effective that you can be magically, and the faster those results seem to speed up. Now, one of the ways that you can find that relaxation, if you're having trouble with it, is through the practice of gratitude. You can try it. In fact, let's try it right now. Just scan your body and notice that, you try to be as honest as you can what your level of tension is in your body. Okay. And that's the level of which you're not going to be super effective in your magic, is whatever that level of tension is, right? Now, let's start to just in our minds list some gratitudes. What are you grateful for? Are you grateful for the air that you have to breathe, that you can actually take another breath? Are you grateful that you have a body? Are you grateful that you have a home? Did you have something to eat today? Do you have people in your life that you love? I'm sure there's at least one. Do you have pets? Are you grateful for the sunshine? Are you grateful for the roof over your head? Do you have running water? Are you grateful for that? Are you grateful for the books that you have to read? Are you grateful for whatever money you do have? Do you have some sort of transportation? I'm sure you have some sort of clothing. So if you can continue to list some gratitudes, really be grateful for them and just like, wow, this is wonderful. I have so many blessings. You can start to feel inside your body a lot of that tension subsiding, and you can feel an opening actually starting to happen within your aura just by listing those gratitudes. And you can keep a notebook just for gratitudes. And if you get disciplined, just like writing 5 of those a day down there, just see if you can over time have maybe 500 to 1,000 things that you're grateful for in your little book of gratitude. And then whenever you are wanting to work magic, you can open up that book and just start to read through that. Or you can write some more down, or you can just list them off the top of your head. And that's a very fast and powerful way to start to establish that relaxation. And you can do that at any time, wherever you are. Now, when you can allow yourself to start relaxing, you'll notice that your ability to affect change is greatly enhanced, positive change. And notice that the other thing that can help you with that relaxation is noticing what you're doing with your imagination. So if you're starting to imagine the worst case scenario in some situation, you'll notice that your tension starts to grow and that you're starting to put up your barriers again. So when your barriers are up, it's really hard for the positive change to occur. And what happens is that you're starting to curse yourself, basically. Anytime you start doing that, you're actually trying to curse yourself. That's the ego's trick, is to make you almost addicted to tension, because it knows that the more tension that you have, the less that the divine design of your life can manifest. because that has to manifest through peace. So once you notice that you're feeling tension, you can just ask yourself, well, what am I imagining? And then you can tell yourself, it's just as easy for me to imagine what I do want as it is for me to imagine what I don't want. My imagination can work any way that I choose, but if I'm allowing my ego to have full reign, free reign, and I go unconscious, and then unconsciously I'm starting to use my imagination to start worrying and imagining the worst possible outcome in any situation. I know that that's happening because I can feel the tension rising in my body. A lot of people that say, I can't visualize, I don't know how to visualize, they do a pretty good job of visualizing. They just don't realize that all those times that they're worried, that they're using their powers of visualizing to hex themselves, to curse themselves. And you can break that just simply by changing and saying, wait, I'm gonna start imagining how good it can be, how wonderful it can be. It's just as easy for me to imagine the best possible outcome as it is for me to imagine the worst possible outcome. And even if magic never worked, even if it never worked, which it does and it will, but even if it didn't, the benefits of you having relaxation versus tension in your life, just by using the powers of your imagination to visualize something positive versus something negative, has untold health benefits. You talk to any doctor and they'll talk about how some of the most common ailments that people are plagued with are caused by stress. If you take a blood pressure monitor and you put it on your arm and you start allowing yourself to think about the worst possible outcome, you'll see your blood pressure rising. And you start thinking about wonderful things and wonderful, beautiful, peaceful things, and you'll see your blood pressure starting to fall. That's how much power you have. Now imagine if you can do that with your blood pressure, imagine what you can do with your circumstances. Just by recognizing that your aura is either expanding or contracting. Think about the idea that your emotional body is where you're able to really monitor what your aura is doing. If you can't see it, it's through the emotional body that you can monitor your aura. So if you ask yourself, well, what are the emotions that I'm entertaining? What are the emotions that I'm willing to tolerate? And that gives you an idea of what the shape of your aura is. And then it doesn't really become that big of a mystery anymore as to why we're pulling certain energies into our lives versus other certain energies into our lives. It's because of the type of energy that we are willing to contemplate, because your mental body and your emotional body work together. Your mental body and your emotional body work together. So if you're starting to use your powers of imagination to go against yourself, you'll feel an emotional response in your body about that, usually fear or worry. And then if you allow those things to go unchecked, then you just know that your aura is following suit, and it's really going out and trying to serve you. It's really going out and trying to gather evidence and attract evidence into that electromagnetic field to support the thoughts and the feelings that you're entertaining. If you think about your deep mind as recognizes the thoughts that you're entertaining as being requests, it's just trying to do what you're telling it to do. So if you're spending most of your time worrying about what might happen, and you're entertaining thoughts and emotions which are tense, then it's not a big mystery as to why you get more and more circumstances that equal that same tension. So there's two emotions. There's emotions that are peaceful, and then there's emotions that are tense, and that's it. So we can label the one emotion love, that's the peaceful, relaxed emotion, and we can label the other emotion fear, and that's the tense, uptight emotion. And so all of these other types of emotions that come out of fear, hatred, jealousy, anger, all of those things, they're based out of one prime emotion that's called fear. And then the other emotions that are based on love can be all kinds of other sub-emotions like joy and happiness and forgiveness, all those wonderful feelings. Now, I'm going to let you in on an occult secret, and that is that ultimately there is only peace. There's only one emotion, and that's love. And love is a peaceful emotion. Love and peace are synonymous. So if you are feeling love, then you are feeling peace. Anything that's not love, anything that's not peace, is something that we've added on top of the peace, on top of the love. It's something that we're trying to shadow. We're trying to shadow the truth. Okay, so in this world, in this body, in this three-dimensional world, those things are very real. Those emotions are very real. We all know what fear feels like. We know what hatred feels like. We know what tension feels like. We know what negative circumstances look like. We know that it's real here. But if you can entertain the concept that what's here isn't all real, that there's a larger reality that we are asleep to most of the time, that reality is the truth. So if you do psalmic magic, that's what the Psalms call heaven. And what that is it's just the plane of peace. That is the plane out of which we are created. And so ultimately, when you find peace, when you lower those tensions, when you lower those defenses in your aura, you are starting to find you're starting to fine tune yourself to the vibration of reality. That's what the God and Goddess are. That's what God is that reality where creation actually happens from. And when you are tuning or allowing yourself to be tuned to emotions of fear and tension and things like that, then you're falling asleep to reality, and then you're starting to have nightmares. And those nightmares here in three-dimensional reality are extremely real. That's when we have climate change. That's when we have war. That's when we have poverty. That's when we have crime. That's when we have all of these things. So here that's very, very real. But just remind yourself occasionally that anything that is happening like that is only happening within the realm of a hallucination, only happening within the realm of an illusion here. So we can fine tune ourselves to cut through all of that stuff very quickly by relaxing. And one of the ways that we relax quickest is by finding gratitude. And the more gratitude that we can come up with in the midst of our problems, the quicker we can retune things. It's like tuning the dial on a radio. The quicker we can retune things so that we are operating on that vibration of love, and that vibration of love is the vibration of truth. And that's where we're the most powerful with our magic. Now, it's very difficult to do things like curse people while you're in a state of peace, right? So most of the magic that you're going to work when you have those defenses down are very positive magics, and that magic that reflects the divine design here, your soul's journey, what your goals are here, why you came to this earth. Okay, so those kinds of spells are going to be, prosperity spells, the right kind of non-manipulative love spells for what you need, all of the things that you need, all the tools that you need to do the things that you want to do. I mean, if you want to spell for a new computer or a new car or a new whatever, you can do those things within an auric atmosphere of peace, and then you know that those things are going to be drawn to you in ways that are very, very positive. Now, you can still work magic without the attitude of peace. You can still work magic within an atmosphere of tension, but it's A, not as effective, and B, the results come in very erratic, oftentimes negative ways. And if you're going to try to curse people, which we don't recommend, but if you're going to try to curse people, it's very difficult to focus that much hatred within the atmosphere of peace. No matter what you do, if you are cursing people, you're doing it within a sphere of tension. You're doing it within a sphere of auric defensiveness, which means that no matter what, when that energy comes back to you, it's always going to be harmful. It's always going to hurt. It's always going to hurt you. So be aware of that. Magic done with tension in the body is tends to always pull in results in ways that are not helpful, pulls in results in ways that are often erratic, often violent, often unhappy, sometimes painful. And also, when you are doing magic within an atmosphere of peace, making sure that you are relaxed first before you do your magic, you are safeguarding yourself not only from having the results be very wonderful, but also to make sure that you are not even inadvertently doing magic that is harmful or manipulative, because it's impossible to do that and keep that relaxation going at the same time. So in the midst of a spell, if you notice that you're getting really tense, it's sometimes a good thing to notice. And you can say, ooh, maybe I can alter the way I'm visualizing. Maybe I can alter the way I'm approaching this so that I can keep my relaxation at an all-time high. So the more relaxed you are, the more effective your magic is, and the more positive the results are. And oftentimes, the quicker the results come to you. Now, not only that, but just daily practice of relaxation, it has some benefits. The first benefit is that if you're practicing relaxation on a daily basis, you can get there quicker when it's time to do magic. So that's one good thing, is so that you don't have to spend a lot of time going through relaxation exercises. You can get there very quickly because it's a skill that you've developed. So when you are doing magic, you don't have to spend a ton of time in establishing relaxation. You can get right there fast. Another benefit to just practicing that relaxation on a daily basis is that your aura tends to become conditioned to peace. It starts to become conditioned to expansion, and that even without working magic, you tend to be receptive and magnetic to very positive experiences because you are always keyed into the divine design. The divine design and relaxation are always on the same plane. So you're protecting yourself by relaxing more and more frequently. The more frequently you can relax and just go through and relax your body and mind, the more protected and safe you are. And you can go and do that every single day, even a couple times a day. And notice that as you do that, you're conditioning your aura to bring you more safety and more health and more aliveness. And that it's going to be so much easier before you do any spell work to establish that trance even more quickly because you do it on a daily basis. And that your magic then becomes more powerful, and that you don't have to worry so much about whether your magic is positive or not, because anything that happens within that space of peace and relaxation is magic based on love, and that's magic based on your soul and what you're here to do, and you're completely protected and safe. Well, thank you so much for spending a little time with me today. I appreciate it, and I will see you real soon. Much love and many, many blessings.